Welcome to the final video in this series of the 5 pillars that you absolutely have to address in order to see successful, sustainable weight loss with PCOS. I am very excited to talk about this pillar as well because this is one that most coaches, doctors, practitioners don't really deal with. So it's one that's kind of unique to working with me, and that is chakra balance. Now, some people, when they hear chakra balance, they think, oh, that's too woo-woo, or oh, that I'm not part of that religion. But chakras are not a religious thing. They are a spiritual thing, which means it's individual to you and however you express your spirituality. But chakras are these energy centers that we all have in our body along the length of our spine. And what's really interesting about them is that each one corresponds to both a physical location and different energies. And when I say different energies, I'm talking about emotions and mindset. So I really love using chakras because they're a great tool to teach my clients how your mindset and your emotions are directly connected to the physical, because unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand that mindset is a huge part of it. Our beliefs, our mindset, our emotions all have a huge impact on the success we see, how fast we see it, and the physical in general. And like I said, a lot of people don't really accept that, or they think it's too woo-woo, but it is very true, which is why I use these chakras to help people make that connection. Now, when I look at chakras in PCOS, we really focus on the first 3 chakras because those are the areas that we're looking at with PCOS, and they're generally the ones that tend to be unbalanced kind of across the board when it comes to looking at Western society. So our first chakra, or our root chakra, when it comes to PCOS, is typically blocked because we have this very deep ingrained fear in us. So your first chakra is all about survival, fitting in with the world, that kind of thing. So as a woman with PCOS, we get told a lot of scary things by our doctor, right? We get told, you're at higher risk for heart disease and stroke, that it's very likely that we'll develop diabetes if we don't take control of our PCOS, that maybe you're going to have a hard time conceiving. So we're told all of these very scary things that aren't necessarily true, but when you're getting told that by a medical authority and you aren't receiving help, it feels very scary. So even though it's not maybe directly our survival, even though it definitely can be, because we are told, we have this risk for these very serious things, that fear can really throw that first chakra out of balance. And our first chakra is tied to our elimination. So basically our ability to poop. So when you're holding on to that fear, it can really mess with digestion and with detoxification. And that's really important when it comes to PCOS, because we want to make sure that we're getting rid of those toxins. Remember, we talked about toxic overload in the last video. We want to make sure that we're getting rid of hormones that have already done their job and are ready to be taken out of our system, because we don't want to go into that state of hormonal alignment. So this is a very important chakra that I see a lot of times is not balanced with women with PCOS. So we really want to work on that first chakra. Now, our second chakra, or our sacral chakra, is a big one with PCOS because it is where our reproductive organs are. And as we know, our ovaries, our vaginas, our lady parts are all a big part of PCOS. So our second chakra is huge when it comes to PCOS. Now, the negative emotion that is associated with a second chakra that is not balanced is guilt. And I find a lot of women carry this guilt that they're not able to lose the weight, or maybe they're trying a new diet or a new exercise plan, and then they can't keep with it anymore, and they feel this guilt. And a big problem with that is they're putting this blame on themselves. And it's not your fault if you are breaking your diet, because a lot of times women can't stick to their diet because they're getting these intense cravings. Well, as we learned earlier in these series, insulin resistance can be a huge contributor to whether or not you have cravings. So it's not a willpower issue. It's literally what's happening in your body. But because we aren't given this information, this knowledge, and this awareness, we blame ourselves and we feel this intense guilt. And same thing on the broader spectrum, right? We're told, go out and lose weight, go out and do this, but it's not helpful because it's not the correct information for women with PCOS. But again, if you don't know that, you take on this huge amount of guilt. And that is not what we want when it comes to balancing our chakras, when it comes to PCOS, especially an important chakra like your second one, which again governs all of your reproductive organs. So really important to focus on that second chakra as well. And then finally, we really look at your third chakra. And this is where it's like right here, it's right kind of where your navel center is. And the big physical thing that we look at with your third chakra is your adrenal glands and your pancreas. And your pancreas produces insulin and your adrenal glands produce cortisol and some androgens. So again, huge players when it comes to PCOS. Now, the negative thoughts and emotions that are associated with an unbalanced third chakra is low self-worth. Low self-worth, feeling helpless, kind of feeling stuck. So this is again very common, that feeling of I literally can't lose weight because I have PCOS. I've tried all the things and I'm stuck because I can't do it. But then also feeling that need to really go because your third chakra is also your seat of willpower. So it's kind of running an overdrive, but you're feeling stuck at the same time. So this third chakra is a huge place that we want to look with PCOS, because not only are, insulin resistance and elevated cortisol and high stress, the physical associations with an out of balance third chakra, but we've also got these really common emotional and mindset issues that come along with an unbalanced third chakra that are so common with women with PCOS that are trying to lose weight. They just feel like they've run out of willpower because they've tried everything. They feel stuck because they feel like they've tried everything. They feel like they have this low self-worth because they don't like what they see when they look in the mirror. So this is definitely a huge chakra that we want to work with when we are working to lose weight, work on our mindset, our emotions, and the physical. So these are things that I definitely work with my clients on, whether that's one-on-one, whether that's inside of my program. But here are 3 tips that are really helpful when it comes to balancing your chakras. The first one is meditating. Now for this one, when it comes to meditating on chakras, you can kind of sit there in silence and kind of reflect on those physical areas that we just talked about, whether that's the first chakra, second chakra, third chakra. You can kind of spend a little bit of time on each and just sort of notice what are the physical sensations, what comes up, and just kind of do a meditation like that. So it's more of a chakra focused meditation. Another great option for working on balancing your chakras is mantras and affirmations. So saying, I am enough, whether if you're having low self-worth, if you're feeling that guilt, saying, it's not my fault. I am working on my body and my body is moving into a place of health. Or maybe it's fear, saying I am bigger than my fears. Anything to help you overcome those negative emotions or those limiting beliefs, or any kind of good mantra or affirmation is really going to be good for that. And then finally, we have journaling. Journaling is a really great way to just kind of let your thoughts out. Maybe you didn't even realize that you had. So maybe you start with journaling about your self-worth and just kind of see what comes up. Again, no judgment about what comes up. What comes up, what comes up, and that's what needs to be addressed. So I hope that you got a lot out of this video. Again, this is one I'm really super excited to talk about, and it is more unique to the way that I work with women with PCOS. Again, really solidifying that mind-body connection. So if you are someone who has all of these limiting beliefs, if you need help working on getting rid of these negative emotions, working on your mindset, understanding how that translates to the physical, and being able to see success, then make sure you hit that button and set up a time for us to sit down and talk about everything you've got going on, those negative beliefs or those emotions, all of your PCOS symptoms, the root causes, and then how I can support you in overcoming that and being able to lose weight.